It's not the best night for you guys tonight. You had to get rid of 4 dancers.
We had to get rid of 4 dancers, but then that's in my own hands. I wanted to provide America with 20 dancers and not 16. If we'd have done 16, we'd have just gone along and got rid of one. But, that's a little unfair for me, I think, because I wanted to show the diversity of dancers this year. And so we said, look, we're going to give America 20 dancers. If they vote for them, they vote for them. But at least we've got other styles that they can decide on. And so although we had the nasty job of twice having to do 4 dancers, I think it was worthwhile, and I would do it again if we only had 16 dancers.
So what about these dancers made you make your decisions tonight? Was there something particular about any of them that you were really disappointed in?
Tonight really was more professional in the terms that none of the routines were tailored for these kids. They were choreographed for somebody else.
Right.
And that's what happens in the real world. When you went to work for Bob Fosse, he didn't sort of turn up when you took over in the show and said, well, let me re-choreograph for you. You did that work. And if you did West Side Story, you did Jerome Robbins' work. End of story. If you did the movie of Sweet Charity, like Shirley MacLaine did, Christina Applegate had to put her own mark on it. It was the same with these kids tonight. They had to put their own mark on these routines. Some of them did, some of them didn't. A lot of them, I think, didn't get the fact that they had to be performers. And Mia's work requires you to perform just as much as worry about your technique. Technique for me is something you learn in a dance studio. Performance is what you do on stage. So I don't want them thinking about technique when they go on the stage. I want them thinking about their performance. And I was disappointed with Amelia tonight. I didn't feel as though she brought anywhere near the character that she brought into our auditions. And that's why she's there.
Right.
Because there's a lot of great contemporary girls, not like her. She is unique. She wasn't unique tonight. And I think that changed our decisions. We went with Lindsay tonight. It was one of those where Mia came up and said, she didn't bring it for me. I agree with you, Nigel, and she didn't. And I think if we'd have made this decision on a results night 3 weeks ago, Lindsay would have gone home. We wouldn't have seen that routine tonight. So, things can change. Solo-wise, it's always difficult to do in ballroom. We don't take in as much with the solos as we do with how they perform with the choreographers and what the choreographers tell us. Because, the choreographers mention everything. Oh, she whines, she doesn't do this, he does that, he doesn't do this. I can't stand working with him, oh, she's a pain. We get all of those stories too that we have to take in. It's not just about technique or somebody being a good dancer.
Well, given that this was something out of the norm for the show, that just solely having me and Michael's routines, do you kind of wish you had done it on a week where there wasn't as much pressure when 4 dancers had to be eliminated, or would you do it again the same way if you do it next year?
Well, I don't know what difference that brings us. If we were only getting rid of 2 dancers tonight, it would have still shown the dancers up.
Right.
All the time we want to push the dancers and keep them improving. Next week, the All-Stars, when the All-Stars come in here, they take no prisoners.
Yeah.
They're worse than me and Michael's because it's their integrity and their dance. These kids have now got to come up to their level. Now, a couple of the kids, I think, are going to have to bring the All-Stars up to their level. We've got a good bunch of dancers. I have no fear about that this season. But they're still learning and they've still got a bit to do.
What can you say about the All-Stars? We'll see next week.
I'm not mentioning any names yet because it'll give me something to tweet all week.
Oh, you sneak. Okay, I see what you're doing. Well, but speaking of your skills, at TCA we did see you do a Kermit voice. We saw you wiggling yourself for LMFAO in there. What are we going to see actually on the air from you?
You're going to see a wiggling Kermit.
We're going to see a wiggling Kermit?
The only 2 things I can do.
I'm going to hold you to that if you don't do that next week.
Well, and seriously, I've been challenged a little bit here because Adam Shankman has tweeted that he wants to do a dance routine with me, and what do you think about that? He put out in the Twitterverse. So we're getting all responses back. Either that would be fantastic, or oh, I don't want to see that. But I've just asked him now what routine he wants to do, and I think we're sort of talking about a tango.
Bring it on.
I think he wants to get me into trouble.
I think this will be excellent.